everybody, we're live. I'm so excited. Happy Saturday. All right, so I want to have this conversation. Now I said I didn't know what time I was going to go live, so I don't expect for anybody to necessarily hop on with me at this point in time, which is totally fine. Hopefully you guys catch the replay. If you're watching the replay, then give me a hashtag replay. Sometimes I'll pop in really quickly, and then sometimes I'll pop in for lengthier conversations. During the challenge, though, we will have full-on lessons with slides and workbooks and all of that stuff. This is just a conversation that I want to make sure that I have before we venture into kind of this next level space for many of you. There is a concept, a construct, a paradigm in the entrepreneurial world, right, where people think that entrepreneurship should be a roller coaster. Entrepreneurship should be up and down. Entrepreneurship should be feast and famine. One day, I heard someone say this. Who heard somebody else say this, is that one day you're eating steak for dinner and then one day you're eating ramen noodles. And I just want to bring to your awareness that is a choice, right? It is a choice to enter into this space thinking that that's what entrepreneurship needs to look like. Thinking and believing that entrepreneurship should be up and down, that entrepreneurship should be this roller coaster of emotion, this roller coaster of finances, this roller coaster of experience. And I just want to let you know that's a choice. Like, it is a choice that you can make to have that experience, but I also want to offer up to you that there is an alternative and that you don't actually have to experience an entrepreneurial roller coaster. There's actually a book called The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. Now, again, perception is reality. So if you believe that that is what entrepreneurship is going to be, then that is exactly what entrepreneurship is going to be. In our time together, you're going to see that I actually speak a lot about neuroscience, about epigenetics, about quantum physics, about research and science, really with regards to how we think and how we operate. So I'm not going to get too far into that now because we'll dive more into the mindset stuff over the course of our time together in the challenge. But I just want to make you aware that you are always able to choose your own reality. You are always able to decide how you want to experience a particular something. So when I started my business, I always say, I attribute this to one of the reasons why I was so successful very quickly in my business. So I started my business in 2016 as a coach. I had already been on the internet because I had a very successful YouTube channel at that point, but I was making a transition. So as a YouTuber, I was talking about lip gloss and hair products and lifestyle things, and then I was transitioning now into becoming a coach, right? So people will say, well, you already had a following. Yeah, I had a following who followed me for lip gloss and mascara. They didn't follow me because they wanted to start businesses. I had to build that in the same way that you're building that now, right? I had to start from zero in the same way that many people start. Everybody starts from zero. Everyone starts from scratch. But one of the reasons why I was able to be successful quickly, so I started my business in 2016, January 1st. On January 2nd, I had my very first client. February of 2016, I launched my very first program called Nameless to Famous. It's still one of my favorite courses. It's still a course that even when I go and speak at different conferences, when people run into me, like, oh my gosh, I bought your first course. It was life-changing. And I didn't know at the time how life-changing it would be because it was a course on making videos, like for YouTube, right? But I did that in February of 2016, and I made my first like $8,000 within 8 weeks of starting my business. And then in April, I launched another program. And then in August, I launched another program. In May of 2016, so 5 months into my business, I quit my job at the university. Like, I turned in my resignation at the university because my business really was moving in the direction that I wanted it to move in. And then in August of 2016, I hit my first 6 figures in business, right? And so I always say one of the reasons why I was able to be so successful so quickly is because I did not give myself any reason to doubt my ability to be successful. Like, I didn't know that people failed at this, if I'm honest. Like, I didn't know that people started businesses and failed. Like, I was very green. I come from an education background, specifically a higher ed background, and a nonprofit background. So I didn't have, while I do have an undergraduate degree in business, it wasn't in entrepreneurship, it was in finance and marketing. So I didn't know that people started businesses and the majority of people who started businesses failed. It was just something that was not in my paradigm. And because it wasn't in my paradigm, there was no option of that ever happening, right? It wasn't until later that I realized, oh, people start businesses and they actually fail. Like, how is that even possible? Like, this is, it's the 21st century where you have the internet and you have Instagram and you have YouTube and you have so many things available to you that are able to contribute to the success of your business. And so because I didn't recognize early on that there was a possibility of failure, it was not in my paradigm to fail. And this is why I work with the kinds of clients that I work with. Many of you are the kinds of clients. This is why you're here, right? I work with the kinds of clients that I work with. The overwhelming majority of them have at least one advanced degree. Almost 50% of the clients that I have 2 degrees, or they have doctoral degrees. So the reason why is because I want you to recognize that you have already been very successful. You've already been really successful at things that you've done already. You have already done something really hard, whether that's you got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a doctoral degree. Like, you've already done something really difficult and conquered it. Now, I want you to go back to that moment when you decided that you were going to go back to school, or you decided you were going to go to school, period. And I want you to recognize that the reason why you were able to do it and you were able to succeed at it is because you didn't give yourself an option that the majority of people actually fail at this. Now, let's be honest, when it comes to, I don't know what the statistics are for bachelor's degrees now, or the statistics for master's degrees, but I do know that when it comes to, doctoral degrees, the majority of people don't finish, and it's like a 1% degree. I think like 1.2% of the population, getting close to 2% of the population have that degree. But when you start it, because you know that you're a good student, and you know that you've gotten a degree before, and you know that you could do it, you just kind of keep trucking, you keep kind of plugging away, and you don't give yourself the option to believe that failure is even something that you can do. So this is really important when it comes to moving into entrepreneurship, right? Because a lot of the times people step into entrepreneurship and they go, oh, well, I'm not good at this, so I must not be good at what I do. I want you to recognize this is a very important principle right out of the gate. You have already been successful at the thing that you want to build the business on. Just because you are new at entrepreneurship does not mean that you need to transfer the newness into you actually being good at being a coach or a consultant or an executive leader or a nonprofit director or whatever the case is, right? You're good at that. You've already been doing it. You know that you're good at that. Don't let the imposter syndrome of I'm new at entrepreneurship contribute to you thinking that you're going to fail at it because you can't actually do the thing that you're good at. That's number one, right? Number two, I want you to recognize, going back to the concept of, it is a choice. The sooner that you decide how you want to experience something, the easier it becomes along the way. I promise you. So if you are moving into this challenge and you're moving into, really launching yourself and launching your business and monetizing yourself, if you're moving into that space going, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. I don't know, people are telling me that I can't do it. Oh, I'm doubting myself. If that is the experience that you start with, then you will match that in your real life experience, because your real life experience, and I talk about this, I talk about the 3-dimensional world, you will mirror your internal thoughts with your external reality. Write that down. You will mirror your internal thoughts with your external reality. So if you're already entering the challenge going, I don't know if this is going to work for me, I don't know if I can do this, then you're going to give yourself reason to find evidence why. And here's a really, really quick example. Right? Whatever you're in right now, whatever room you're in right now, I want you to look around the room and I want you to find something blue. Just find something blue in the room that you're in. Anything blue. Okay, got it? When you got it, type in the chat, got it, found something blue. Okay, now I want you to look around the room and I want you to find something black. Anything, like a pen, a laptop case, find something black. And when you find something black, let me know in the comment section, okay? You see how easy that was? Because you told your brain what to look for, and then your brain actually looked for it, right? So this is exactly what happens, and this is how our minds work. If you tell your brain what to look for, it will find it. You will continually find evidence that your brain is actually listening to you speak. It's listening to your internal dialogue. So this is why it's really important moving in. When we talked about intentions, that's why in the original video I said I need for you to state your intentions right off the bat, right? Because I want you to give your brain something to look for. If you're saying well, this is my intention is to launch this, my intention is to get clear about this, my intention is to figure out this. Great, now we have a direction for our brains to start to move into, and now we have something that our brains can actually work with, and this is really, really important, okay? So I need for you guys to get that part. When it comes to the entrepreneurial roller coaster, one of the other reasons, and this is, I don't know if this is gonna be the last thought I leave you with, but one of the other reasons why it becomes a roller coaster is because we have so much attachment on every small part of our business. And I gotta say, please, please, please do not be attached to all the little stuff. I already said this. I'm going to ask you to do some things that are very new. I'm going to ask you to do some things that you might be a brand spanking newborn baby at doing. Like you might have never done it before. Some of you never went live and then you went live, right? So congratulations if it was your first time going live, because that's a big step. Some of you guys, I'm going to say, I need for you to write this out. I need for you to post this. I need for you to talk to this person, right? As I'm coaching you, I may give you instruction to do some of those things. Don't be attached to every small detail, because the small things are what's going to lead to the end thing. A lot of the times, this is why people experience the roller coasters, because they get too attached to every small detail along the way. They post something on Instagram and they go, oh, nobody liked it. I only got 3 likes. Okay, well then post again tomorrow and then maybe tomorrow will hit. They do a reel, they do a TikTok video. And they go, oh, nobody liked my TikTok video, or, I'm not growing 10,000 followers overnight. That's okay. Don't get attached to all of the small little things. The small little things we use as testing, we use as evidence, we use as methods and means and strategies so that you can get to where you want to go. If you continually get attached, this is what happens, right? We start to put our power outside of ourselves. When you start to get attached to all these small little details when it comes to building your business, you take the power that is inside of you and you put it on the external form and the external circumstance and the external situation. And we don't want that. Because what happens is this. You go, oh, I posted on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I got 100 likes. Yes, I'm so excited, right? And you're having a great day. And then the next day you post on Instagram again and you might only get 25 likes. Well, now you're having a bad day, right? So that's why people experience the roller coaster, is because they put so much of their energy and attachment to the external form instead of thinking about the big picture. Where is it that we're actually trying to go? And how can we create systems and strategies that compound? Because the consistency will compound to you getting to where you want to go. It's if you try to make every small thing the big win, you are going to experience a lot of heartache and you're going to get very frustrated along this entrepreneurial journey, and you will go through the roller coaster. But like I said in the beginning of this video, you have a choice in how you want to experience this. You have a choice in whether or not you experience a roller coaster. You have a choice in whether or not you are successful at this, right? Success is just, it's an option, right? Just like failure is an option. If you follow me on Instagram, or you follow me on TikTok, I posted the other day where I talked about identity, because identity as an entrepreneur, it's really the big deal. And so I can actually build that out a little bit for you right now. When it comes to your identity, the reason why it's so difficult to move into a space of entrepreneurship, especially if you've always had a job, is because your identity, your self-concept, what you believe about yourself is employee. And if you believe yourself to be an employee, right, then you will recalibrate yourself back to being an employee, because you have not developed or you have not accepted an identity of successful entrepreneur. If you have not accepted the identity of successful entrepreneur, you will never be one. You have to get into the space of going, I'm a successful entrepreneur. I know that I can do this. It's just like anything else that you've already been successful at in life. It is no different than any of the other projects you've worked on. It's no different than any of the other successes. It's no different than any of the other situations. The reason why we put entrepreneurship somewhere over here is because it's rare. It's like you're a unicorn amongst your friends. And that's why I was very clear about, when signing up for the challenge, I was like, if you have been that person that's always been the successful one in your friend group, the person that everyone goes to, the person that, well, you're just going to do a good job because you always do a good job, right? It's hard to fail when you're that person, because you feel like you're not allowed to fail. But I'm telling you that failure only happens when you quit. So whenever I'm asking you to do these things, these small tasks, don't get attached to the small tasks. I want you to recognize who you are, right? Where it is you're trying to go. Say, I am the bomb. I am amazing. I am awesome. I can do this. I am successful. I have always been successful. I am a high achiever. I am somebody who can take problems and solve them, because those are things that you have already done in other areas of your life. All we're doing is transferring that into building your business and building your brand. So I want you to recognize that the entrepreneurial roller coaster is only a roller coaster if you decide that you are going to participate. Early in my business, I told myself, and all of my clients know this, early in my business, I told myself, I am not going to be available for feast and famine entrepreneurship. I'm not going to be available for 1 month I make a lot of money and 1 month I don't make a lot of money. And I can honestly say, since I started my business, my business has always been a very steady climb up, right? You have to start with making $1 for sure. And then you make 1,000, and then 10,000, and 100,000, and then 200,000, and then 500,000, and then 1,000,000, and then it continues to grow from there. But you have to start somewhere, but you have to decide now what kind of experience you want to have when it comes to building your business and what you're going to be available for. Because whatever you are going to be available for is the experience that you're going to have. If you've taken any of my other classes or you've watched any of my other content, I talk a lot about energy and energy work, because your job is just to manage your own energy. Your job is to be the energetic match to the thing that you desire. If you can get your mind around the belief that you can absolutely have anything that you want, that if you want to have a $10,000 month, you can have it. If you want to have a $100,000 month, you can have it. If you want to have $1 million year, you can have it. Like, you can have anything. If you can get your mind around that belief and then operate in favor of that reality, I mean, watch out. I mean, you'll be unstoppable. You'll be pretty dangerous, honestly. So anyway, that's it. I wanted to pop on and just talk about that a little bit, because I think it's really important for us to recognize that moving forward. Before I give you any other assignments, I need for you to decide what you want to experience. If you want to experience a roller coaster, that is an option that is available. If you desire to experience success after success after success, also an option that's available. We don't have to have failed launches. I've never had a failed launch because I just don't make myself available for failed launches. We don't have to have programs that flop. We don't have to have things that don't sell. We don't have to have months where we don't get clients. We don't, like, those are all things that you never have to experience. It's just a choice. And if you tell yourself it is an option, then, and you get really attached to it being an option, and that becomes like your dominant thought, because it's dominant thought that matters, right? It's your dominant thought. Do we have times where we're having bad days? Yes, you're allowed to be human, right? But in your humanity, sorry, my lip gloss is sticky. In your humanity, we're not going to take those down moments and then create an identity around that, or normalize that, I should say. We're not going to normalize that you're supposed to have a lot of failures as an entrepreneur. Because who said that? Like, who said you had to? Like, nobody. You decide. It's up to you. Who said that you had to have months where you weren't making money? Nobody. You decide that. Who said you had to have, who said it was going to take you years to make money? Who said it was going to take you years to build a business? That narrative is 100% decided by you. Like, you get to decide. I told you, I started my business on January 1st in 2016. I had my very first client January 2nd. That was not a coincidence. I just decided that it was going to happen, and it started to happen. And it sounds easy. It's easy when you don't know any different, right? When you just, because like I said, I didn't know any different. I didn't realize that was not normal, right? So you get to decide how you want to experience the challenge. You get to decide how you want to experience your business. You get to decide how fast you build your business. That is 100% completely up to you, okay?